Welcome to the fifth episode of the Chiratae Women Trailblazers series. I'm excited to welcome Nidhi Pant, co-founder and of S4S Technologies, and Vaishali Kulkarni, Dr. Vaishali Kulkarni, founder and CEO of KB Calls. So it's nice to know that both of you went to the same college, which till now we did not capture actually. And Vaishali also taught Nidhi. That's an interesting thing. And both of you happen to be also funded by Chiratae Fund 4. So, um, you know, one of the things, entrepreneurship is something that doesn't come in one day. It happens over a time. So what is your earliest memory of saying that, okay, I want to become an entrepreneur or something? And so that is something maybe that we can, start with.
The earliest memory of entrepreneurship was for me was when I was in college. It was very new, like Uber had just come, Ola, Zomato, a lot of these startups were coming up, and we knew the financial potential that value that can be created by entrepreneurs. So what I was very excited, or which was something new for me, was that they were creating so much value, they were growing so fast, the use of tech uh, was something that was solving the problem, and how fast they were growing. So it was value, financial value, how fast things can happen through the use of tech. These two things were very important and exciting for me.
Vaishali?
Yeah, thank you, TCM, for giving us this opportunity. And for me, the memory was participating in various B school competition during the PhD journey. So initially, it gave me the idea that I can really look into its commercial aspects. So when we used to get feedback from the panel, when we used to talk about this, everyone used to listen it quite interestingly and used to give us feedback. You don't just leave this project here itself, take it into commercialization line. And winning those B school competition really gave me some confidence that yes, it has some potential and we can look into this side. That was the, you can say, start of this journey.
Okay. And, one of the things, being an entrepreneur itself is very challenging, right? There is a roller coaster, but it's also very exciting, right?
Yes.
But being a women entrepreneur, and you might have also gone through it with maybe a little bit of additional challenge as well, right? Because there are not too many women entrepreneurs, not only in India, even globally, right, as a percentage. So any experiences that you felt with as a women entrepreneur, co-founder, that you have gone through, and that possibly now you would like um, to tell your other women who will be looking up to you as to what they should be prepared for?
Yes, I can see that there are challenges involved. Entrepreneurship is a challenging journey. It's not an easy job. When you wake up daily, there is something else which is unplanned is coming in front of you and you have to solve. And if talking, as you mentioned, that women are less in this sector, but I feel just encouraging women won't help. Like what I feel is the family should come into the picture more. The like in my case, my family was really a backbone or supporter. Like they inculcated values that you have to think independently. So I feel if the like starting from a woman's journey, like from a girl to woman, if your parents are supportive and they give you independence and freedom to do whatever you want, and of course as a woman you have to respect that freedom and use it very wisely. So from that, you can start thinking in that way. So family support is very important. After even like as a woman, you have to take extra miles. I have observed that. But yes, I believe, I may be wrong, but women are gifted, like they are good at multitasking, or the situation is they like the universe makes women a multitasker, so they can handle both home and of course their professional life very smoothly if they decide to. And I think if a woman decide that she has to reach the goal, she will. It's just that she should be like 100% convinced herself first, and which is of course comes if she gets family support, she can go miles away. And coming to talking about the investors raising funds or VC, as a woman you have to take extra steps, like it's sometimes it becomes difficult, like for a woman to travel alone into some another country due to safety issues or something, so that thing has to be there. And like women cannot work in the night shifts, so that culture we have to get. Otherwise there are no boundaries for a woman considering the safety. And there are questions from the society, what after like you get married, will you be able to concentrate equally to your professional lives? What if you have kids, will you be able to focus fully? So she has to be prepared mentally, and if she convinces herself, then there is no stoppage for her, according to me.
Excellent. I fully relate to that, because in our family also, we have given that level of wanting to take independent decision as the most important thing.
Yes.
Nidhi?
Yes, definitely adding to what Vaishali rightly said. Just one thing more is also allowing girls to take a lot of risk. A lot of times my parents were like, oh, don't go to this picnic, it's not safe for you. So their general risk appetite and things is very low. So entrepreneurship is, is a big decision. So definitely also allowing that. I think my early memory where I faced some challenge was that because I was also young and I was a female, a lot of times people thought it was my husband's business, my father's business. I think that's also because of lack of role models. Entrepreneurship itself, we always thought is a family business. People thought, okay, if you're running a business, it's something that uh, yeah, that's like an age-old uh, thing, and it was, at least in our world, it was not something which was very obvious. So think people that I was interacting with uh, yeah, felt that way, and even my parents thought that I was part of some non-profit uh, entity. So the only two things, which was that they don't take you very seriously, and they don't think you have the authority or decision making ability, and a lot of times that can hamper your confidence. It can give you a lot of self doubt. So I think I only would say two things, which is do not have second guess yourself, and take a lot of these things with pinch of salt, because it reflects more about their character than yours.
No, that's very interesting. But I think common theme is family has been fully supportive, right? That's a very important ingredient in actually giving this confidence to study, higher study, and then later go into entrepreneurship and support fully. And Vaishali, you also found your partner also as the business partner, right? So how has it been in terms of how is the day looking like? Because I think then business and work may become very seamless sometimes, right? That you don't know when it starts, what starts when, and yeah.
Yes. So like I met Arjun during university only. So we participated as a team because every B school competition requires two members. So we used
Correct.
to discuss a lot. So during a class, we were in same class, but our guide projects were completely different. He was into molecular biology and genetic engineering. So, but when we used to when we have to choose the teammate for our B school competitions, so we used to interact with many students, and then a like-minded used to come together. So we used to discuss, and we thought that our views matches on this topic, and we used to go and promote this idea in the competition. So we were very good friends initially, and he also believed in this idea, though he was into genetic engineering. But yes, he had also seen some potential into this. So he was of the also view that we have to take this project further into the commercial, taking out from the technical school. As a friends, we used to discuss a lot about this project, and then we started mutually liking each other, and then we got married also. Yes, but KB Course was incorporated first, and then we got married. And we are coming from very different background. Like I am Maharashtrian, and he is from North India, typical Punjabi. So there is a huge difference between us. Cultural behavior is also difference, but only thing matching is our mindset. And once that happens, then the journey becomes quite easy. It was not easy to take this step because getting like you are culturally very different, and you don't know, like, and you are also into same line of work.
Yeah.
Yes, so my dad just told one thing, that you have to be very sure about your decision, whatever it is, whether your professional life or personal life. Once you are into it, you should not take a reverse turn. No matter what, you have to fight this battle, and in the end, you should win this battle. So that was my in my mind. I thought, whether even if I'm marrying my co-founder, it should not come in between our work zone. And similarly, we have divided the responsibility. Likewise, I am more into R&D, and he is good at business and taking the scale up further. Like, he's good at scale up strategies. So we have divided our role. So there is a clear, separate, distinct line in between the work zone, and we make sure that we do not clash into each other's zone professionally. So there's a mutual respect and understanding both. So if you are having that respect, then the challenge is not as much as working with husband as a co-founder. It gives you synergistic effect, like 2 plus 2, it becomes 5. So I have, like, even if I have some small doubts, it becomes difficult, like, to sometimes it might get difficult to talk to about your co-founder. But a husband, I can talk to him very freely. Just like I mentioned that my financial journey started from credit debit, and like, I used to feel very foolish that I am asking people, like, what is this ROR? What is the full form of ROR? So, but when I used to talk to him as a friend or a husband, I used to clear my doubts very openly. So he was like a mentor also to me. So it just it is just giving us the synergistic effect for us to run the company. I would just
Absolutely.
say that there has to be some mutual respect for each other. Then the journey becomes very easy and enjoyable, even if you are life partners in your work zone.
Yeah, that's great. Um, Nidhi, you've been representing S4S. Obviously, it's a fairly strong set of co-founders, but you've been representing S4S externally, right? And been there and, represented in various competitions, and as well as in terms of many institutions where you represented them for grants and other things. And also, a few interesting things in terms of Youth Leadership Award in the NYC Global Citizen Festival with Priyanka, and then recently Earthshot Prize that you all won. How have you been able to manage this and also take it back to Aurangabad, where there's a lot of, really earth-changing activity also takes place?
Definitely, I've been fortunate that I have the opportunity to represent first the work of our farmers, our micro entrepreneurs, our team members, and also my co-founders at these international uh, competitions as well as places. What I see as my responsibility is to translate whatever they do in terms of impactful numbers. So definitely telling people what sort of change we have been able to see in the past 3 years, and also tell them interesting stories that we have seen. The orbit, we like to say that it's like an orbit shifting space. So one thing that we do very well is definitely the groundwork. But at the same time, it's also important to communicate what is happening on ground to external world, for whom it's completely a black box. So I was fortunate to have that responsibility, and also to do it. Definitely being the it's the team and the work that we do that gets us these opportunities.
And and both of you have been entrepreneurs for some time and evolved as leaders as well, right? So what has been your journey as a leader? And you know and a few insights into how do you manage problem solving, or how do you manage when you encounter a challenge, right? Which might be helpful for the audience.
I can go first, which is that I think my journey as a leader also has been more of a self discovery about myself. It's been so much about my self awareness, my authentic self. One thing that I'm always leading is with full transparency and vulnerability. So telling the team that okay, we have to solve this ourselves. I don't have all the solutions, and giving them the right authority and decision making power, so that they also feel valued in this process. So definitely leading as an equals, and while solving some of these challenges. So yes, I think that's one thing that I would always say, is that when we are solving problems, we are not, there is no hierarchy. We all are the same. The best idea in the room wins. The best solution in the room is respected.
And so from where you started and now as a leader, have you learned anything new that's helped you, specifically, Nidhi?
Yes, I think when I was young, I was with a lot of energy. I was entering every room just to assert my point and not to listen to what others are saying. And I was I was very insecure. Uh, and when I was in the room, I always was not listening to what others are saying. So it never was part of the decision. Of any discussion um, in that moment. And I think that has, in this last 8 to 10 years, has changed tremendously for me, where I at least don't have my ego. I don't enter any conversation with ego, but with a learning mindset. So it's not necessarily to have a highest voice in the room to arrive. So I think I've let go my ego. I think that's been a biggest uh, transformation for me.
Yeah, that's not easy. And
That's not easy.
if that is done actually, then it also opens up a lot of doors, right? It opens up a lot of support systems which otherwise will be locked, right?
Absolutely.
So amazing. Vaishali, what's been your journey as a leader? Like you said, you learned credit debate, but that is one part of it. But also from, being more as a PhD, and then looking into, some business plans, competitions, to now actually starting the company and then now leading it. What has been your journey?
So, as a leader, is a very different journey. And what I would like to say, like, you can manage technical knowledge. If there is a technological failure, you can somehow solve it. If there is a like business problem, you can solve it. But managing people is the most difficult part in this journey. Managing each and every team member is the difficult part, I would say, more than handling technological or business difficulties. So
Correct.
as a leader, you have to take into that account. And I would say it's just my start of the journey. It's been like few years, but still there is a lot to learn. Daily as a leader, I learn each, for me, each day is a learning as a leader. I would agree with Nidhi, what she said, like you have to let go your ego. Yes, that's the thing we learn it the most. And leadership teach you patience. patience and like understanding others' problem and solving to it. When you are young, you do not realize pain, what is the pain or what is the thing which uh, the other person is going through, and because of that, he or she is not able to give his performance 100%. But when you take as a leadership chair in your, like, then you start understanding, you start be into their shoes and start reacting like how they will react, and you just become one of your team, and this is what leadership teaches you. So most importantly, it has taught me patience. Yes, initially I used to react it very fastly. So I have, like, now there is a hold in me. I listen to things, I analyze it, and then I react. So it's not, like I said, it's not an easy journey. Managing team and managing people mindset is very difficult. And I believe how many years you deal into that, it will be the same challenge through generations.
As people from the chemistry side, reaction is very fast generally.
Yes.
On the lighter side. But but entrepreneurship is all consuming, right? But in terms of recharging yourself, in terms of, anything that you do other than entrepreneurship as a hobby to recharge yourself, um, also to take some time off, right? What do you do?
So actually, fortunately, I am into the field which I love the most. So this entrepreneurship, my KB calls is based on the passion like which I wanted to do during my PhD days. So daily when I go to work, I love my job and I do not get irritated or I do not get bored. Even if you wake me up like we work in 24/7 shifts. So even we get a call at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. from office, and that is a normal thing. But we get it. Yes, there is a challenge in front of us, but we find it, like I find it very interesting. Like, okay, this is a challenge, I have to solve it anyhow. And once you solve it, you get that relaxation, you get that motivation. Yes, you are ready for the next day. So that was one part. And apart from this thing, like, as I mentioned, I'm a chess player, so I participate in chess tournaments oftenly. So that is also a relaxation for me, and I'm into swimming and a little bit of athletics too.
Oh, interesting. We should
Yeah.
play chess sometime. Though
Surely, I would
I'm
love
sure
to.
I will lose, hands down,
No,
because
not
you
like
played
that.
for the country, and then you played for the country. But your namesake now has also become possibly a grandmaster, right? Pragu's sister.
Yeah, Vaishali. Her name is Vaishali. Now she has become, yes, just a few months I read that.
That's right.
And there is a lot of talent coming from India, which earlier it was just Vishwanathan Anand. Now there are lots of players coming from India. Feels good. Like,
In my college days, I have played him.
we will definitely play. I would request you to come to our facility, and we will definitely have a one chess game here. And that will give you to visit our factory also.
I'll do that. I'll do that next time I come to Pune.
Surely.
Yeah. Hi, Nidhi. How about you? In terms of how do you recharge yourself?
I have a pet, my kid. So I play with my dog a lot. I think that brings me the biggest amount of joy. So that's one. I watch a lot of Bollywood movies to take my mind off all the day-to-day tension. And I'm also an environmentalist. I want to, that's how I like to call myself. So I'm also involved um, with various nonprofits and government agencies, just helping out them in different projects.
Okay. So taking a break, holiday has not figured in both of your answer, which is very
We travel
interesting.
so much that
Yes.
no more
That
travel.
getting to sit at home is a holiday for us.
I know. But managing a pet with all your travels, Nidhi, must be an interesting challenge as well, right?
very interesting. So three of us, three co-founders have adopted it. So each one of us takes turn, and if all three of us are not there, then we have someone's mothers or parents who help us. In Aurangabad, it's still better. You have a lot of
Support
space,
system. Yeah.
yeah, and support system.
Yeah. And so Vaishali, you've been now obviously in terms of the solution that you're providing, much more than Indian companies, your interaction is a lot more international brands, right? How has been your experience through that? And how do you see in terms of adoption of some of these sustainable technologies? And that's something common for both of you. Sustainable technologies being adopted in India.
Yes, like we have a traction coming more from globally compared to India, mostly from European sites. Now we have tapped into US market also. Some new clients are reaching us for the same solution. The industry, the manufacturer, there is a revolution coming. Like they want some sustainable solution, but at the same time they want a sustainable plus affordable solution too.
Correct.
Just sustainability won't help us to reach the market. So we are working on making it more economically too. And after COVID, there is a huge change among consumer mindset also. They are preferring to go natural over the chemical market. So that's the trend we are seeing shifting. Yes, it will take few more years to be like adoption or to get regulatory or becomes mandatory for the industries. The journey is long, but this is the future we believe, because one or some other day the petroleum resources are going to get exhausted, so they have to find some other alternative. So this is going to be a future. And what we have observed is international players, they are more adaptive and receptive to this idea over Indian market, because there won't be any other much option available as a replacement to chemical colors.
No, that's interesting, and maybe it's also a factor of cost, right?
Yes,
India requires much more affordable
yes,
solution, and
yes,
at some level, when the inflection point on cost comes, maybe adoption will go up.
yes.
Yeah,
Cost is main. Cost and scale up. Like we are into textile business, the volume is huge. So we
yeah,
have to meet that demands.
and Nidhi, you've also been interacting with both international and Indian customers. So how do you see the adoption for sustainable products and progressing?
Yes, I think the Gen Z that is coming in, they are starting to be a lot more aware about uh, what they consume as food ingredients, what's additive, clean label. These trends have been around for quite some time now, but this is where we see that inflection point, at least in food, where people are aware. The younger generation is aware, and that is forcing so the new brands that come in, definitely they are a lot more mindful in nature on how and what they use in their processing, and a lot of bigger brands are also making a big headway into not only producing good products for the end consumer, clean products for their consumer, but also to look at their supply chain. So the scope 2 scope 3 emissions, whether it is made in the most sustainable manner, produced in the having proper regenerative agriculture practices, what can they do with the plastic that they generate. So definitely the intent is really strong from large corporates as well, and but the adoption is a little slower than what we anticipate or what we need just to protect our climate and to serve the consumer.
Yeah, but I think there is a cost curve that people want to manage because of the adoption. Quickly, in the last 8 or 10 years during your journey, or Vaishali, maybe 5-6 years for you. What would be one of the most challenging moment that you had come across, and how have you been able to solve for it?
The
Nidhi?
most challenging moment for S4S has been pivoting from an equipment manufacturing, or like selling equipments to smallholder farmers, and to also then go 2 steps ahead and be the market maker, and start becoming like a food ingredients company. So this required not only a change in the culture of the organization, but also for us as co-founders, because whom we are serving initially, for us the end consumer was farmer. We were selling the equipment to them. That still remains the same, but we are also adding the bringing one more stakeholder, which is the end consumer, the food processing industry. So getting them in, having the right quality, getting into that, understanding what they need, at what price they would buy. So that journey has been the most challenging for all of us to also go through, and to have those foundations. I think we have a lot of stakeholders in our business, so just managing all of that and be ready for scale uh, has been the most challenging part.
Vaishali, how about you?
Yeah, when I look back to those years, no, the most challenging part was us to make the product in powder form, color powder form. Initially, we used to supply the liquid form to the industry to try the product, but there were lots of resistance coming from the industry to use a liquid, and they had to change their setup. Logistic issues, their shelf life was a big issue. And today in the world, if you talk about our competitor also, they are still into liquid form. So, and we now have solved that problem, and now we are supplying the colors in powder form. So from going to liquid to powder form, just powder form has not helped us in logistic ways, but it has provided drop-in solution to the industry. So industry doesn't have to change any setup from their side, just have to use this powder instead of chemical powder. And it has become very easy for us to run pilots with them because they are getting drop-in solution. And till today, even our competitors has not figured it out from turning liquid to powder form. So that was our biggest challenge in the last few years. But now the real challenge which I see which is going to come in the future is converting. We are having almost uh, 20 to 25 pilots running globally. So turning that pilot into the cells would be our next challenge and next target.
Yeah, but that's amazing that you have 25 different customers in global international brands who are working on this, and I'm sure you will succeed on
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. And one thing, obviously, in your journey, while family has been supportive, um, and co-founders have been supportive, um, have you faced any biases during, education or entrepreneurship on this as a woman?
Uh, if you talk about outside world, yes, there are many challenges. As a woman, as an entrepreneur, I always say that woman has to take more steps to get funding from VCs because VC has that mindset whether she can be able to focus after marriage and after her child. That's the thing, that's the mindset of the investors. But we were very fortunate. We did not come, we did not like get this with Chiratae or even our follow-up NAB ventures. We did not we were really fortunate that we did not get into that. That's the extra steps woman has to take. And one thing I've seen is women always under promise, but they don't realize they will always over deliver. Though they under promise, underestimate themselves, but they will always make sure that they will deliver what they have said, or they will over deliver it what they have assumed. So that's the thing. And coming from like my family, we were, as I mentioned, we were twin sisters. So, and coming from a middle class family, but I did not feel, we did not feel any kind of biasness. In fact, my dad, I would say, was more supportive and more encouraged for daughters more than son. I think I felt that way because like it is very difficult for a woman to stand alone in the market to run all this business and challenging things without any support. But if she gets support professionally and personally, she will be giving 100x what she has taught.
Some.
Yeah.
And Nidhi, in your journey?
Yes, sir. I think early days when you don't have enough data points, you have not proven enough. You definitely see some of those biases where if you compare to the male counterpart, you have to prove a lot more. You have to give a lot more data points. You have to show a lot more results. But I was as Vaishali said, we have been very fortunate to have people. I think it's also the privilege that we all are in, right? Like we also recognize that we have the network through which we can get the right type of people to be a part of our journey. Like our conversation with you was a cold email that we sent, and that's how you had no bias, and you never knew that I had other co-founders, and that's where you took the call, and you gave your time to speak to me. So. I think those sort of things in the later part of our journey definitely tremendously improve, and also as a individual we also know who are the right people that we can trust. But initial days, both in trade, both in raising funds with banks, with government officials, you do face those rejections. I think in some of those ecosystems we still face that, but I think that's where some of the credibility that we build with Chiratae, with having the right customers, with some of the recognition really helps also.
Yeah, I think it all starts with skepticism. And the moment you break the skepticism, I think then more adoption and acceptance comes over.
That's right.
Yeah. And, uh, what would be your advice to other, women who might be thinking about taking up, engineering or, the studies, the STEM, and also about entrepreneurship, right? Those who will be starting their journey now, what would be your advice?
I would say that one thing which is common for all entrepreneurs, it's male or female, is the resilience and the grit. That has to always be there. But as women, I would say that we need to ask more. We all are ambitious enough in our close groups, but we need to go out and be ambitious in front of the world. We need to ask people for help. We need to tell them about the ideas and what we really want to do. A lot of times when we don't do that, we limit ourselves. We limit that. Okay, we self reject a lot. So I would urge everyone to believe in themselves, and also be just ask for help more, and just put out your ambitions in the world.
Be your confident best. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
And Vaishali?
Yeah, I would agree with Nidhi that we self-reject more. So, like, I would say believe in yourself. No matter what you choose, engineering, science, or entrepreneurship, you have to believe yourself. So, if you are confident within, you will do whatever you wish to achieve. So, confidence and patience are two aspects. Patience, because it's going to be a long journey. You go into any field, patience will take over to your goal. So, having confidence and patience are the two main things which one has to believe in.
Yeah. And one last question. As you visualize the journey of chemicals, Vaishali, I know the near-term challenge is converting pilots to revenue, but I think more importantly, how do you see the next 3-5 years panning out, and how do you see chemicals be 5 years from now?
Yes, so our like now we are expanding, we are making into like 500 kg plant. So in next 5 years, like we see like our target is to reach to more global brands, and we have to make all our piloting. We do not have, wish to leave a single one. We have to make all pilots into the sales. That's our target. And we have to be a global leader in this coloring the world. So that's our vision in next 5 years, that we have to be a world leader in supplying biocolors.
Awesome. And Nidhi, what's the vision that you and co-founders have for S4S in the next 5 years?
Yes, as much as we would want to serve our farmers, our micro entrepreneurs, India globally as well, get a lot of also serve our food and beverage industry customers, provide be a trusted partner, technical partner to them. One of our also goals is to be financially create that value for everyone who's been part of the journey. So for the team, for the investors, and for ourselves.
Awesome. Thank you both for taking time and to share your journeys, your experiences, and your words of wisdom and experience to younger colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share our thoughts.
No, this is amazing that we have never had to, whether in hiring our team or in, when we backed entrepreneurs, never looked into the gender part of it. And that's actually helped in terms of finding the best.
Yes, and we have experienced that. As a woman, I would believe that, because we have never faced coming this from Chiratae gender biasness.
Yeah. Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Vaishali.